And welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe, broadcasting live from Benin City, Edo State, where the National Sports Festival is taking place. And of course, it's the final day, and just 2 events we'll be expecting to wrap up everything today. Talking about the 4x400 meters men and women relay, and the mixed relay also, that's the 4x100. That will definitely draw the curtain on the National Sports Festival. Also on the program, yes, Team Delta, from the beginning, from the very start of the National Sports Festival, they were on top. And right now, they're still leading with 329 medals, and they have 139 gold. And for Edo, second, and Bayelsa, third. And this is how it's going to be looking like on the final day, because you just have very few events left at the National Sports Festival. So it's good to say that Delta State retain what they won in 2018 in Abuja. And of course, no surprises in the UEFA Champions League as expected. Bayern Munich, PSG and Chelsea, they cruise to the semi-finals. And for Bayern, they will not be defending their title. So Manchester City should be smiling now, because they should be the favorites to win the UEFA Champions League this season. Well, it's the National Sports Festival studio from Benin City. And of course, Yemi will be talking about the UEFA Champions League much later on the show and other things going around in the world of sports. But we're starting with the National Sports Festival, of course. That's why we're here in Benin City. And to actually wrap this all up today, which will be the final day from Benin Studio, here we have the local organizing committee chairman and, of course, the deputy governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu. He's right here in the studio. Good morning, DG. It's good to have you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, it's the final day. I know people will be expecting so much to close the ceremony. We saw what happened at the opening ceremony and all that, the fireworks, everything. It was awesome. And now it's going to be the final day. What should we expect on the closing ceremony?
Yeah, we should not expect anything less.
Okay.
We should even expect more. Today is like we are going to relax everybody, have fun. So it's all about fun today. All the tensions that were associated with the games, we want to just douse them so that they will have fun. By the time they are going back tomorrow, they will be going back lighter than they came.
Okay, interesting. So we're going to be having music and all that.
A lot of entertainment. A lot of entertainment.
Can I explain that? Okay. All right. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on the closing ceremony. You expect so much. He wouldn't want to let so much out of the bag. So just stay tuned. Of course, Channels Television will be broadcasting that live later in the day. Now, let's talk about the events or major events. I'll just pick 1, 2, 3. I think the first one is I was at the gymnastic event yesterday, and I saw so many talents. And I had to ask some of the officials, the organizers, and also the Federation Secretary General, Developmental Secretary also was there, about the whole gym and the whole setting. And they said it's actually one of the best in Africa. And we know that if you don't make use of things like that, it will definitely be hard to keep those equipments when it comes to gymnastics.
Yeah, we right from the last Sports Festival, Edo already has stamped his name in terms of gymnastics. And don't forget, we are traditionally gifted in gymnastics. The Gabonese and the rest, we are naturally gifted. But the governor was very clear about what we should achieve with it. He said we should have to discover this talent, remodel all our sporting facility, and it was specific about the gymnastics. So what you are seeing at Samuel Ogumiloro Stadium will be replicated in Edo Central, which Edo Central is the natural home of gymnastics in the country.
Okay.
So we are going to replicate that also in Edo Central. So and people have been asking, how do we maintain this? The first thing is to get those facilities engaged, and we are discovering young talent from 5 years old. We're going down the radar to get those young children to come and learn the game of gymnastics, because it's a discipline game.
Yeah,
it's a discipline game. So, and the greatest joy I had yesterday is when a 10-year-old set a record from Anambra State. So, and she has recorded her name in that very hall. So, and for us, it's all about getting them young, adding education, mixing it together, and for them to actually live their dreams. And when I look at the joy and the smile in the parent of those kids, and the joy those kids had. Like, really? So where has been this thing? Edo have been really out of sport for a long time. You know, we have been on recess. Now we are back to life. So to keep those facilities moving, we have a lot of games that we have to organize. And the federation also want to move some games here. Okay. And African meets, there's an African meet that will be taking place here. Okay. So round the clock, we are going to make sure that all the facilities, there's life. Because when you don't inject life through activities, then they will be dilapidated. Yeah. So it's not just to hire cleaners, have an agency to maintain. You must inject life, and the only way you can inject life is to make sure that there are competitions in those venues. And when there are competitions in those facilities, I can tell you that issue of maintenance will be history.
Yeah, and of course, that's why most of the competitors, talking about aerobics, gymnastics, that happened yesterday on the final day, Emmanuel Obiasuyi, he says he's been into the sport in the last 5 years. He quickly switched from artistry to aerobics, which he feels is actually easier because of the facilities provided. Let's listen to him, because right now he's having Olympic dreams because he's got somewhere where he can actually train.
Oh, very, very exciting. I will just give the glory and honor to God, because this is a record. Nobody has ever done it. So I just feel so happy. I just give God all the glory and my coaches. And gymnastics in Nigeria originated from Edo State. The Edos have gymnastics, and the best athletes you can see even in other states originated from Edo State. That's why you could see that gymnastics in Edo State, they are doing better, though we are lacking facility. That's not an issue. Thank God for the new gym and facility that have been just brought to us. But all glory to God, the coaches are excellently capable of handling the athletes, and those, they don't give up. They keep on pushing. We have this passion, this zeal. I've been doing it for some time, but I didn't give up. It's because of the passion for the sport. You need to have passion. If you have passion supersedes everything. Passion, determination, that's just it. We are the best. When I started aerobic gymnastics, me personally, because I switched from artistic gymnastics to aerobic gymnastics, it was not that easy. It was kind of tough. Like me sacrificing a lot what I've done in artistic gymnastics, switching to aerobic gymnastics. I just started from the scratch, the grassroots. So it's somehow, I just have this mindset, this determination. I started with African videos, watching personally in my personal time, watching videos to get skills and different things. Then my mentality, my vision actually extended. So the essence of a vision is the extent, the burden of your blessings. So I saw international, so I had to take it. So I switched from African to international. I started focusing on international gymnastics competition. So that's how I kept on pushing, kept on training. My coaches keep on pushing me. So that's my target, Olympics, and it's possible by the grace of God.
His target is definitely, you just heard him. I mean, he's so excited. Before all these facilities and all that, he was watching other competitors, their videos and all that, just trying to learn. And right now he's got somewhere where they can actually perfect all the things he's learned.
Yeah, that was the idea. Like the governor has always insisted that DG, we have to get the best of equipment. We don't want our athletes to have an opportunity to go outside and to become naive and they'll be like confused about the kind of facility they get, and it may affect their performance. So we must get the best of equipment so that from here, what they will be getting each time they have opportunity to go out will be same that they have. So they will just blend. So, and when we were dealing with the issue of the gymnastics hall, the governor insisted that we should get a full package of all the games that is associated with gymnastics, so that Edo must be known for something, and that every of the sports that Edo is known for, we must get all games facilities, and that is what we have. There are some of the games that did not feature in this National Sports Festival because they are new.
Okay, so they
need to get used to it, and the federation we're just having them for the first time. Okay. So I'm sure in the next sports festival there'll be a lot of games in gymnastics
Maybe
that will be played.
rhythmic gymnastics, they need to
introduce them.
Rhythmic and all that, not just focus on the floor events and also the beam events.
There are a lot of them. The DMT, the Grandmaster, trampoline, all of them.
All of them coming in. We can't wait for that. You mentioned, Stephanie and all that. I caught up with Stephanie. She also have dreams. And of course, her mother also talking about how she started, this sport at the age of 2. Let's hear from them.
Because I'm the second girl to be the best gymnast in the whole of Nigeria. It encouraged me so that I can go to the Olympics and win several gold medals, and so that I can be the best in the whole world, like Simone Biles.
She's like Simone Biles, but she's already got a dream, so she's aiming for something really remarkable.
Yeah, I was so excited yesterday when I was talking with her, and I told the mother that, look, the state government, Anambra state government, should put focus, the attention and focus should be on her, and they must follow her through her dream. If not, Delta will come and take her to Delta, and they will continue to nurture her. So the mother laughed. I said, "Is that why?" I said, no, tell your governor or tell whoever. Fortunately, the commissioner was there. I said, follow up this girl. She will be a national champion, if not an Olympic gold medalist for Nigeria. So, but if you don't follow her up, Delta will snatch her.
And you're actually right, because I spoke with the mother. Maybe we need to listen to the mother a little bit, because what she had to say concerning how she's trying her best, to support her, because the whole support and all that, when it comes to cash and everything, traveling expenses, it's all done by the parents.
Training tours in South Africa, US, Seychelles and Dubai, and she also has some competitions lined up for her from June, so she's going to be so busy. Stephanie doesn't have any sponsors now. I do everything from my pocket, from my money. Me and her dad, we are the ones sponsoring her for now. Nobody has been able to sponsor this great talent.
Okay, no one. So sponsors are coming. And as you mentioned, if Team Delta understand that they're not coming, obviously they want to take over. But I believe Anambra State government actually listening, and they will definitely want to support this young girl.
Yeah, we have the best facility in terms of gymnastics now. So I will discuss with the mother. She can come and use our facility and for free.
Okay.
Because we have to. That is why we make those facilities. We have decided that Edo will be a home to produce athletes for the country. So Anambra, Stephanie is free to come to Edo and use those facilities so that she can live her dream and become an Olympian. And that's what she told me. She said she wants to win a gold medal in the Olympics. I said, okay, we have to start now. Preparing her for the next Olympics.
Interesting. She doesn't have to go to South Africa and other countries to train.
The facilities
are here. Yeah. Remember, when she was just 8 years old, she won a gold medal in 2018 in South Africa. Let's leave Stephanie and gymnastics and talk about swimming. That's another sport also I believe the Edo State want to focus on because of the many medals. Edo in total won about 29 medals, but they had 4 gold medals and just one person. Talking about Rachel Tonjo, she was the one that literally led them to all of them. The 4 by 100 meters medley, women's relay, she added the 4th gold, and the others, the 100, 200 breaststroke and all that. She won gold medals and all. So it simply means we're looking at Edo State right now. They're supposed to be so strong in swimming. We just have one person. She was at Rio 2016 Olympics and all, Olympic swimmer. She's one you can pick. What happened to the others? Because we saw the swimming pool, and it's right there.
Yeah, before the postponement, we were actually ready for almost all the games before the postponement. And some of our athletes are abroad that will have competed, like Gideon, that won 4 gold medals in FCT. And but when this date was fixed, we have to make do with the home team. But I can tell you the facility we have there now, and don't forget that is the only pool, Olympic side pool that is waveless in West Africa presently. So, and the swimming federation was so excited, and they are also putting an application to come and do some games here. So we are going to, after this game, after the sport festival, we have a program for all our athletes. So we want to catch them young from schools. So that is why I said when people talk about maintaining this facility, we say, look, we are injecting life with the programs that we'll be having in all our facilities. Cecilia, in the next 4 years, Edo will be home of sport that it used to be. And Edo will be representing almost every state in Nigeria, because our athletes will be so much that other states will have to come and take them.
All right. I think we're expecting that to happen. Now, these are the beautiful aspects of the whole National Sports Festival, discovering of talents and everything. But at the boxing gym at Obakenzo Cultural Center, little things happen and all, a whole lot of boxing activities, because that was the final from the 60 kg lightweight and to 90 and the heavyweight and all of them happen, and of course most of the athletes want to go internationally and all that, living amateur boxing. But the boxing story, yes, it was beautiful watching some of these boxers, getting something good out of it. But at the end of the day, the spirit of sportsmanship was once again lacking. And that's something we really don't want to see. We won't talk about the winners. We won't talk about those who've won. But let's just, hear this sound of what went down after Ogun, lost the bout to Team Lagos. Okay, we also have the visuals from Edo also. I mean, after Ogun finished theirs, then Edo took over late into the night and even had to switch off the lights because of questionable cause. After the break, we'll also see that. In the Benin issue, talking about the Edo supporters, after Ogun State finished theirs earlier in the day, and later into the night, as late as 8 p.m., when the boxing bout was still going on, Edo supporters feel aggrieved because they feel the officials had some questionable calls. Edo should have won, but then gave it to others. This is what it looks like. All right, I think it's the destruction. That's what we're not really happy about. They had just 2 or 1 fight left, in the ninth, and we're thinking, okay, everything should be over. But I don't know if they're going to continue with that or just cancel everything totally. But these are pictures we really don't want to see.
It's sad. It's sad, really. It's not something that one will expect. That sport is sport, and this National Sports Festival is a unity game where we just have to have fun and blend and interact. When things like this happen, then the essence of the games are all lost. But like the MOC needs to also step up disciplinary actions and sanctions. Just like I told them yesterday in the meeting that we had, the MOC meeting, the Lagos female team, I said they should be sanctioned and their medals should be stripped of them. Then there's another incident in kickboxing where one of my coach, after losing that bout, went feasting and injured the Delta guy. I said that guy should be sanctioned, he should be disciplined, and the federation should sanction him. It could be banned for years. There must be sanction. And when you don't have those sanctions, other games people can do same. In the afternoon, Ogun did theirs. In the evening, Edo. And the officials too have to be careful. You see, when Ogun and Lagos is meeting, there's rivalry.
Yeah.
So you must just play the game by the rules. When Delta and Edo is meeting, there's always that rivalry. Yeah. So the officials must be on top of their game. So you must be consistent with your officiating. I understand. But even at that, there are rules for protesting. Yeah. If you feel cheated, you go and protest. Right. You write, I think within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you are supposed to do a protest letter and pay. So that is what it should be, not feasting. Okay, at the end of the day, you injured yourself, there's his car, and that person will have it for life. Saying, when I had this bout with X person, that's when it happened. And I was also told that in cycling, Edo and Delta, out of their own rivalry and quarrel, the two of them national champion has to lose out. They lost out because they were quarreling, fighting while the race was on. And even when they were moving, they were quarreling and blocking each other. And they block each other out of medal, and others took it. So I think all this thing, we need to just find a way to do them. It's not a do or die thing. Sport is not a do or die thing. Sport is just meant to enjoy yourself. Yes, you have a career, but the career should be to the extent that you should just believe in your stamina, yourself, train hard, and you will win. Don't wait for the referees, even when some of them can be problematic, but just follow the rules.
Is it possible? I actually asked this question yesterday, when my other guest, Jija Konjo, was here. Is it possible to actually have a seminar when the game is starting on the day of the arrival? Maybe in the evening, you meet with all the athletes, all the officials, and tell them these are the things you cannot do. And if you do this, there are sanctions.
Yeah, I think there's one that the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport did. They call it Scientific Conference.
Yes.
But the scientific conference that I attended had less than 40 or 50% of the people that actually needed that conference. And yesterday, I also suggested to them that the federation, there should be a conference between the federation, director of sport, captains of all the teams that will be participating in all events. Then the rules should be read to them. Disciplinary actions for any act of indiscipline should also be read to them, so that when they go back to their team, they will also go back to educate their team on what they should do and what they should not do. And when any state violates that, it could be individual punishment, it could be team punishment, it could even be the entire contingent punishment. Because when you leave your state to go and represent your state, and you are disqualified from participating because of indiscipline, when you get back home, you know what it will be. So I think we need to just do that so that the actual purpose of having this game will be achieved. It's not about winning medals only. It's about interaction. It's about sharing our heritage, our love and affection so that we can consolidate the project called Nigeria. That is the essence of the game, not just about the gold medal.
Okay. Before we look at the medals table, which will wrap up this show, let's talk about the issue of money. When I was with Jija Konji yesterday, I mentioned the fact that the money is still not here. And are you guys sure you're going to get this money?
Yeah, the governor believes that the president will not disappoint us because for us, it's very sad that as we speak, the money, they have not still paid anything to us. And I listened to the minister recently saying that it's not the responsibility of federal government to fund a sports festival when there's a host. There is an MOU. Yeah, there's an MOU. Yeah, and that MOU will follow. Before the games were postponed, we never asked for resources or funds from federal government. we mobilized our funds, we got sponsors for our game. The postponement was at the instance of federal government, and they told us that they will fund the rescheduled dates. So we are not asking for fund to fund the Sports Festival. We are asking for fund to fund the rescheduled National Sports Festival, which was postponed at the instance of federal government, because that was the cause of, that was the reason that they gave. Even when I know that the minister didn't have the power to postpone, he illegally postponed the game because the Council of Sport never met to discuss it. So, as you understand, but that is for another day. Okay. But at the end of the day, it was postponed at the instance of federal government with a promise that it will be funded when a new date is given. So we are asking for that. If it was for the first time when the new first date last year, we never asked for fund. The issue of fund was not an issue. So I needed to correct that. But I believe that for the governor to have spoken to the vice president, to the chief of staff, to the president, and the minister of finance, we trust that they will still pay this money even when we have not received it. Okay. But if I have to follow the minister of youth and sport, I'm not sure that funds will come, because it's neither here or there. It speaks today that it is responsibility of federal government to do. The second day, it will tell you that there's an MOU. I don't think that is the way to go. But I strongly believe that with the discussion between the governor, the chief of staff to the president, and the minister of finance, I'm sure they will still pay. They'll still pay.
Okay, let's take a look at the medals table before we wrap up the National Sports Festival Studios in Benin City. And of course, Team Delta happens to be the team that is at the top. From the first day of the National Sports Festival, they started winning gold medals. And at the last count, this was 7 p.m. last night before other medals came in. This is what it's looking like. 139 for Team Delta, gold only. And of course, in total, they have 329. For Edo State, yes, distant second, not so distant, but if you take a look at the gold medals, 118 and 139, that's huge. The silver 100 and the bronze. Then Bayelsa, of course, Bayelsa won 50 gold medals. Out of these 50, two sisters won 10 of the gold medals for Team Bayelsa. Rivers next, Oyo has overtaken. Where is Lagos State? Okay, people are asking where is Imo and all that. The full medals table, you see it on our Twitter handle, and you see everything there and all that. Some other states did not even win a medal. So it simply means Edo hosted and they came second.
Yeah, like I said from the beginning, we are going to host and we want to win, but win clean. Okay. But I'm excited that our younger brothers are still topping. And so if they eventually win, it's Bendel that have won. So I'm happy for them, and I'm also happy for my team. Our players, they're all raw talent. We didn't have the professionals to come and run for us. So the medal you are seeing is a product of the new revolution of discovering new talent, young talent in Edo.
Yeah, Deputy Governor and, of course, Chairman, Local Organizing Committee of the National Sports Festival, Philip Shaibu. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, Celia. And I want to thank Channels. Channel has been wonderful. You are the best in terms of sport reporting and news. So I want to sincerely appreciate it. You are always everywhere. When I look left, she's there. When I look the other way, she's there. And your reportage has been very wonderful, very unbiased. So I want to thank Channel. Without you, the games would have been quiet.
Thank you so much for that. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Yemi Adebayo is over to you in Lagos. And of course, that's a wrap from the National Sports Festival studio right here in Benin City.
Thank you so very much, Cecilia Omorogwe. We're talking about the National Sports Festival and everything in between. Of course, the closing ceremony will take place today, and of course, Channel Television will beam it live. All right, so we're going to continue with the show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Let's get into all that we're doing on the show before I introduce my partner. We're going to be talking about the UEFA Champions League, what happened yesterday, what's going to go down today. We're also going to be talking about some of the managers and their expectations with the season almost coming to an end. Tweet at us at @channels_sports. Let's know how you feel about all of these issues, the National Sports Festival, the drama that seems not to end. the position of the host, Edo State, appears to be different from that of the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports. So there will be fireworks. Trust me, at the end of it all, there will be fireworks. So we'll see what will happen. But tweet at us this morning. Let's know what is going on. All right. Barakitunde Johnson joins me this morning as we take a look at the UEFA Champions League and everything in between. But good morning. Thanks for being with us today.
It feels good to be back in the studio. We're not doing Zoom this morning. Yeah. I'm right here, live in the studio.
All right. I don't know where you want us to start off. Maybe we'll start off with matches played yesterday. Yeah. Let's take a look at the results, and we get Bada's thoughts. A lot of talking points from that. So let's start with yesterday, the results in the second leg and the aggregate score with it all. There you have it. Chelsea and Porto. Chelsea already did the job in the first leg, so it ended 2-1. PSG and Bayern won, but it wasn't enough. The story about this game, somebody said Bayern won, PSG lost, PSG qualified. It's a lot of drama, but let's stay on this for a while. I don't know which one you want to take first.
Chelsea, Porto. Let's go by the order on the screen. Porto, I thought... did everything that they didn't do in the first leg, which was defend very competently. They had a very solid, structure defensively yesterday. And more importantly, they had a bit more threats going forward than they did in the first leg. Right. And that's because the two of their best players who were missing due to suspension, Taremi and Oliveira, came back into the team. Taremi gave us a potential best goal of the, not just but also the Puskas Award winner with that wonderful overhead kick in the dying embers of the game yesterday. But Chelsea, understandably, didn't chase the game because, like you said, they scored 2 goals in the first leg. And that first leg, even though both matches were played in a neutral ground, it was the away leg. So Chelsea came into this fixture with 2 away goals, which... for Porto rather to overturn, they needed to score 3 in Seville. So, and there was no way that was going to happen if Chelsea were disciplined, organized, and that's what they did. They didn't go chasing the game, go. They just, played it within themselves, I must say. Again, with an eye on the semi-final of the FA Cup against Manchester City next weekend, it was understandable that Chelsea didn't go gung-ho into that game. So it was Porto who needed to ask all the questions. But for all of their huffing and puffing, they never really looked like hurting Chelsea up until that overhead kick flew into the top corner for that the lone goal that decided the game. But over 2 legs, I thought Chelsea had done enough to deserve their place in the last 4 of the UEFA Champions League. And of course, they go away from that game without any major injuries, because that would have been the worry. They're chasing the top 4 finish in the league. They're chasing the FA Cup. They're playing the semi-final against City. You don't want to play a game which many thought was a dead rubber, seeing as they went in with 2 away goals. And start having players dropping like flies. So on the night, yes, they lost, but it was a very, very good game for Chelsea because they progressed and, there were no casualties.
Okay, let's flip and talk about Bayern. A lot of people made the story about Lewandowski's absence. And I'm thinking Bayern is a big team, even though Robert Lewandowski is a little max man. If he's not playing, you should still be winning games. Yeah. They won, but it wasn't enough.
It was not going to be enough because they had bungled it in the first leg. To give PSG 3 away goals, was always going to be so difficult to come back from. I thought once PSG scored 3, it didn't matter if it was a win or if it was a 3-3 draw, it was always going to be difficult for Bayern to match that in the second leg, especially without Lewandowski. And especially because the 2 wide men, Kingsley Coman and Leroy Sané, were very underwhelming in the first leg and needed to produce something different in the second leg. What more could you ask from Eric Choupo-Moting? Comes in, scores over the 2 legs, scores 2 goals in a Champions League quarterfinal. For a player who doesn't exactly play in that position all the time, I thought he did his bit. The rest of the support cast didn't exactly bring their A game. Leroy Sané was, over those 2 legs, I thought the worst I'd seen him play since he burst into the scene, playing not just at City, but from the Schalke days. He would outrun his man, or maybe beat his man, dribbling past him, but he will make the wrong decision. His passing was so bad, you know, especially in the dying moments of the game. There was a particular, because they were 1-0 up, they needed a second goal to progress.
Yeah.
And with virtually the last kick of the game, he was
way off the mark.
He could have squared the ball to the free man, but he just played it to no one. So over the 2 legs, I thought when Bayern looked at why they lost, first, it was because they were defensively all over the place in the first leg. They were run ragged by Mbappe's pace, Neymar's creativity. The front three, Angel Di Maria, Neymar, and Mbappe, over the 2 legs were massive. Yesterday again, they should have in the first.
They hit the woodwork like 4 times.
3 times in the first half. Neymar should have scored a hat-trick. Though Bayern just couldn't leave with those 3. But over 2 legs, Bayern would look back and think that if they were a bit more defensively organized in the first leg and hadn't considered those 3 goals, they would have. Because even with the 3 goals considered last night, they still had a chance. PSG refused to score. That's the way to put it. Because with all those chances, it didn't make sense that they didn't score 1 goal over 90 minutes yesterday. And with their refusal to score came the opportunity for Bayern to actually take advantage. But they got the first goal in the first half. Second half, they huffed and puffed. They really didn't create. I couldn't remember Keylor Navas making any difficult save in that second half. They had half chances. They just, you know, looked like they might, but never really were convincing. And on the breakaway, PSG always looked like scoring as well. But over the 2 legs, I thought PSG deserved to go through. And the key thing to note is, in the previous round, PSG accounted for the ouster of Barcelona. They've knocked out Bayern Munich now. They finished second last year. They played the winners of the game, Borussia Dortmund, Manchester City, in the semi-finals. You will be a very brave man to bet against this PSG going all the way to win it. Another fun fact, sounds like a trivia, but since 2017, I think, every side that has gone on to win has either been Bayern Munich themselves or the team that beat Bayern Munich out of the competition.
All right. So, Bada giving us some fun facts. Then we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, you will listen to Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel explaining that, look, it was victory that matters, and they didn't have to use all their energy. All that matters was that they had progressed to the next round. But you will be listening to him after this break. We'll go on that break, listen to Thomas Tuchel. We'll come back to talk about today's matches and also take a look at the papers and read your tweets.
It was a very intense, a very tough fight. There was a lot of work to do, a lot of work where you don't get the praise, where there's nobody here to clap you for a tackle or something, or to cheer you for a tackle. So a lot of hard work in secret was done, and that's why I'm very, very happy. I can imagine that both games were not the nicest game to watch on the television for spectators who look for entertainment. I can totally accept, but it's very hard to play your best game against Porto. And it is a performance, also a part of performance, to not let your opponent perform.
All right. It's part of your work to also not let your opponents perform. That in itself is work.
Of course, Mourinho will know about that.
That's why I say hard work paid off.
Mourinho will know about that. You know, nullifying your opposition is also part of performance. So when people say, oh, the other team just
sat back. Even though you don't get the applause.
Exactly. The other team just sat back, made themselves difficult to beat. It's all part of, you know, winning the game. And I thought Porto did that very well against Juve, which was why they progressed. But against Chelsea, missing Taremi Oliveira in the first leg cost them, because they couldn't really hurt Chelsea. Chelsea scored 2 unreplied goals. When those guys came back yesterday, yes, they won, but it was a bit too far. You know, it's already a bit too far.
Okay, so let's talk about what's going to happen today, and let's see as it stands. This is how it stands currently. Dortmund and City. Okay, there's a little mix-up on our part. City to Dortmund 1, we'll sort that out. That's a little mix-up on our part. Then Real Madrid, the ones with the 3, a little mix-up on our part. So we sort that out as we go on the show. But as it is, which of the teams do you favor to progress?
I would think that based off the first leg results, City and Real have to be favorites going into these games. But we know that teams have overturned greater deficits from the first leg because both wins were home wins. So those two teams actually take home wins away to defend.
Yeah.
Real Madrid take a 3-1 home win away to Liverpool to defend. City take a slim 2-1 advantage back to Dortmund to defend. And you and I know that those aren't the biggest advantages. This same Liverpool overcame a 3-0 deficit against Barcelona just 2 seasons ago in the competition. And even though you look at Dortmund and they really don't fill you with confidence to overturn that deficit against City, you feel like if you watch that first leg very well, City gave Dortmund chances within the game. There was the Jude Bellingham chance that
was
tomorrow
chopped off.
People argue should have stood. And had that goal stood, it would have been 2-2. Because City's second goal came late on in the game. It was looking like Dortmund could have won that game. So if that game is as open, if tonight's game is as open as the first game, then you feel like Dortmund would get 2-3 chances in the course of the game. And if City don't take their chances, which is becoming a pattern in the last few weeks, you saw them against Leeds, created 20-something, had 20-something shots on goal, scored only 1. Dortmund can ride their luck, be defensively solid, and then when they are presented those 2-3 chances, if they take 2 of them, they can make the night a very difficult night for City. But of course, you've got to look at that City team, full strength City team, De Bruyne back in the team, Gundogan starting. They've got to be favorites to go to Dortmund and produce the result on the night. So, of course, City will be favorites. Pep Guardiola should be crossing this quarterfinal hurdle for the first time since he became manager. And people will say this was why they brought an accomplished manager in the first place. You weren't brought in to win the Champions League, the Premier League, because they were always winning the Champions, or they were already winning the Champions League and all these League Cups and FA Cups. Get them to the semi-finals, which was what Pellegrini did. That's the minimum expectation. And you will think that City maybe will not have a better chance than now to do this. They should be able to go to Germany, play their best game, and get past this Dortmund team. The second game, a more difficult one to call because you look at that Liverpool team, yes, the Anfield crowd, the intimidating Anfield atmosphere will be missing because the fans won't be there, but you can't bet against Liverpool getting 2 goals against Real Madrid and shutting Real Madrid out. Or if they do that, they qualify actually because they scored away. So what the task for Liverpool really is score 2 goals and don't concede. Can Liverpool do that on a European night? I really think they can.
All right. Okay, let's listen to, he has talked about the managers involved. Let's just listen to Jurgen Klopp talk about this game. Of course, he's very cautious about the chances of Liverpool advancing to the semis. But let's listen to him, in his own words, talk about the game.
When you're 3-1 down, it looks like you're already out. That means you have not a lot to lose, let me say it like this. And, yeah, so we will give it a try. I think that's the job we have to do, and that's exactly how we will go for it, if you want. It's a result which showed the result of the performances of the night. They were better than us. We were not as good as we should have been or could have been. But it's the first half of the leg. That's of a lot of problems we have, or we will face before we have even a chance to win that game. And that's actually the idea, that we try to win the football game tomorrow night. It's just one extra problem. No supporters in the stadium. So the result is a problem, the quality of the opponent is a problem, and then obviously that the stadium is empty.
All right, we are going club. Very cautious. It should be.
It should be. I mean, you can't bet against Real Madrid. They've won this competition more than anyone else. And this current team, some of them have won it 4 times, actually. So with Toni Kroos, with Luka Modric, in that middle, being as influential as they were in the first leg, Karim Benzema can sneak that goal. They've got pace to burn going forward. The task really for Jurgen Klopp, and that's why he's playing it cautious, is prevent Real Madrid from getting an away goal. Because if they do, now they need to score 4. And that makes it even more unlikely.
All right. Okay, let's take a look at the papers. I'm interested in Bada talking about this one. Let's start with Sporting Life. On today's Sporting Life, you have the picture of Ahmed Musa, the Super Eagles captain, most valuable clubless player. But I actually wanted to talk about him joining Kano Pillars. That's a story that's been everywhere. And what's your impression about all of that? A lot of people say, well, he's doing that probably to get back to Europe. But do you call it a plus for the league as some people?
Oh, yeah, it's got to be a plus for the league. We have to build confidence in this league. We have to build a brand. And when players like this, who are still very much active, come back home to play, it means that there's probably something to look at or look forward to in the league. And of course, he cut his teeth playing for Kano Pillars.
Yeah.
So he's coming back home rather than sit in Europe or sit in some part of the world just training with a B-side or whatever. He comes home. I mean, yes, there's COVID and people are not allowed into the stands yet, but there's a bit more attention paid to those games. Doesn't matter how many he plays, and it encourages other Nigerian players abroad who may not be having a great time at the moment to come home and just help create a spectacle, build a bit more appetite, really, for our league. So, I mean, it's all positive for me.
All right. Last people for review, Complete Sports. A lot of interesting stories about this one. An agent says Osimhen reminds him of Cavani. Cavani once played for Napoli. That's going to be a parting shot. I don't know if he reminds you of...
He doesn't. He doesn't.
It's a different type of player.
He's a different kind of player, but he gives you... Sometimes he gives you that Yekini Cavani vibe. Cavani is more potent aerially, without a doubt. But the pace, the ability to sniff the chance, the off-the-ball runs. I think that I see what he's trying to say, but I don't look at Osimhen and straight away think Cavani. I think more Rashidi Yekini
type.
Just a younger, more modern version.
Okay. All right. That's a good place to leave it on the show. But Akinleye Johnson, I want to thank you for your time. It's been fun doing this.
It's a pleasure.
Hopefully we get to have more studio time.
Absolutely,
this show.
That's the plan.
All right. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoyed the show this morning. We're back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.